Hey everyone, welcome to another daily expansion video. You guys have already gotten today's video, so I'm going to start talking about my whale trip. So, this day will be the day that I left though. We're going to talk about, so the morning flight was absolutely beautiful. I think I've already talked about this, but if I haven't, we'll talk about it again. Morning, absolutely just nourishing flight. I get to the LAX airport, and I'm tired, but the flight was good. I'm pretty sure I read the entire time. I finished an entire book. It was just that good. I'm grateful I had time to read. Number 2, I am grateful that there was food at this airport. So apparently they don't let you through security. I think the earliest is like 3 to 4 hours before your flight, and I had an entire day. My flight did not leave till almost midnight, and so they were like, yeah, you can't go through security, and I was like, what? So anyways, I get some food, and then I messaged my friend. I have a lot of friends in California, and I was like, hey, if you are still free, or if you figured out your work schedule, I am here until late tonight. So even if you can only hang out for a couple of hours, I would love to see you and get food. Love her. Shout out to you, Bailey. And Tasha. Tasha's her boyfriend. So they came and picked me up at the airport. It was my first time meeting Tasha as well. Super funny guy. But we had so much fun. We went and we ate food. I did not get a chance to see her doggos, but next time. But we were there for like quite a few hours just talking and catching up, and it was really good. It's just such a good time. And yeah, they drove me back to the airport. And then after that, number 4, I did get a chance to just start relaxing. What did I do? I think I cleaned out. I reorganized, because I use Trello for all of my work stuff, for personal life stuff, for just fun things. So I reorganized all of that for when I came back from my trip. And then I think I finished budgeting, which takes a long time to do when you're doing it on the phone, because I color coordinate different things. So I think I finished that. And then number 5, honestly, by the time it rolled around to get on my plane, I'd had just a very nourishing day. I did all of that on my phone, and then I read more of a different book, and then it was time to get on the flight, and I'm pretty sure I was in the middle seat, but it wasn't. No, I was in a window seat, so it wasn't too bad. I don't even know if I ate dinner, if I'm being honest with you. I think I was just so tired. I might have watched a movie, and then it was lights out. But I was tired enough to fall asleep. And that was the first day going to the island. And boy, did it, I had an idea of what I was in for, but I also had no idea of what I was in for. This was a life-changing trip for me. So anyways, those are my gratitudes. And I would say message of the day, I think, be in your peace and ease. So the whole way through, I would just tell myself different things that I desired. Like, it would be really nice if I got a whole row to myself. Like, wouldn't that be cool if I got to just sleep and have a whole row? The flight to LAX, I had the whole row to myself. Now, did I sleep? I wanted to, but I was heavily invested in that book. So while I didn't sleep, I had the beautiful opportunity to. And not only that, but, just having a place to charge my phone. By the time I got there, I was only, I think I was down to like 11% or something. 7%, I think, by the time my friend showed up. Or when we finally coordinated plans. And then it was a little bit before she showed up, and I got my phone back up to like 30%. But very grateful that I had a seat next to a charger that I could just relax. I had food. It was such a nice day not to have to worry about anything, and I was just in my own energy and appreciating the experience for what it is. And the more that you can be in your own energy and just not even feel the desire or the need to control everything or anything, it just flows so much smoother and nicer. You have a better experience, and other things start showing up for you as almost as if they want to make the life experience better. And even so, I was carrying around a bunch of stuff because I had like snorkel gear, and I had a backpack that was pretty heavy, and I had my suitcase, and I just stopped to sit at this one restaurant, and they had a little thing on the table that was like reserved, and I was like, okay, cool. Here I am thinking that like someone actually had a reservation, and I was like, cool, I don't see anyone. I'm just gonna put my stuff down here to get reoriented and decide where I'm eating. And there were many tables at this restaurant that weren't filled up. It just so happened that was the first one I came to, and it had enough space for me to just put my bag down. I know the restaurant lady, it was so fast, came over to me and she's like, is this your reserved table? And I was like, no. And before I could even explain, like, I'm just putting my stuff here for a second. I'm just trying to orient myself, because I was also trying to look at their menu, and I just didn't have it in me to sit there with my heavy bag on my back. She goes, oh, well, like, are you dining in? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to decide. And she's like, well, you can't put your stuff there. Like, you can't sit there. You need to move your stuff. And I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I get that. I'm not planning to sit here. I'm just trying to look at the menu. And she was like, no, you need to move. And I just kind of looked around. There's nothing going on, right? And then it like dawned on me that the sign on the table was reserved for large parties. It wasn't even reserved for people, because I like reread it, and I just kind of sat there and I was like, this is what a wild example of there's so much abundance, and yet this is a situation that's presenting itself as someone trying to just control the abundance when there isn't even an issue yet at this point, right? Like, there's no line at this restaurant. The people who are sitting down had been there for a while. And not only that, but like there wasn't like, I was also keeping an eye on to see if anyone was coming up, because I thought someone had legitimately reserved this table. I just needed 5 minutes to orient myself and figure out food at this airport. And also look at the menu from a place that like wasn't in anybody's way, because the way it was laid out was kind of weird, and you know, the corridor to get food was like between tables. But anyway, so I'm bringing this up because in the moment it made me kind of frustrated, because I was like, I legitimately I just need 2 seconds to decide what I'm ordering from your restaurant, right? And then I'm going to pick up my bags and move somewhere else. And the other thing too is like the menu is in like small print, and even though I'm young, sometimes I just need to be near a menu. It's all that book reading. So anyways, but it was a beautiful moment too, because I realized her and I were just in two totally separate states of being, where I'm looking around and I'm seeing that legitimately half their restaurant is empty. I don't even know if I want to call it a restaurant. It's more of like, you know, you go into Target and there's like Starbucks and you have like 5 tables. This probably had double that, but same size. But I'm looking around and I'm like, there's all these open spaces and tables available. And also it wasn't just the big table. And I just reaffirmed that I was blessed, and that, you know, what a beautiful thing for me to realize that my mentality and the things that I'm seeing are in abundance. And this person is seeing something completely opposite. And I've had this experience, a moment with other people that have entered or have been kind of throughout my life, where that's got to be such a hard reality to live in when you don't see how abundant something is. And don't get me wrong, I have my own places where I am working. I know that there's abundance, but like embodying and resonating with that sometimes, you know, can be challenging. But what ended up happening is I just picked up my bags, said, okay, yeah, no problem. And I was so kind of turned off by that exchange that I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and take my time and not make, just a decision and see if there's an abundant option, something that more aligns with me. And I did. I found this cafe and I got this delicious chocolate milkshake while I was waiting for my friend. So everything, just trust being in your own peace and ease, and trust that there's enough to go around. So anyways, and all that to say, I'm making a comparison between mentalities. That's probably not what she was thinking at all. She probably was thinking like, company policy or just trying to do her job. But it's just like, I just want to highlight the way that there's different ways to look at things. And so even in the small things, it really speaks to, are you looking with broadness, with openness, with expansion, or are you looking at contraction with, we only have this much? Like, we have this much versus we only have this much. You're saying the same thing, but it carries two different meanings. So just be aware of, are you in your peace and ease and flow, or are you in, lack and constriction and, frustration? So that's a message of day 1 of my trip. And affirmations. Number 1, as always, I'm divinely guided and supported. I, with gratitude, graciously accept all of the support, love, nourishment, and care and blessings that have been given to me today. Number 2, miracles and blessings are just a common expected experience in my day, and I am excited. I love seeing them, interacting with them, and I'm here for more. Number 3, I love myself deeply, fully, and completely. I am nourished in my own presence and essence and embodiment. Number 4, I've chosen so much better for myself. I choose with love and with completeness and with abundance and with nourishment. And 5, for the day, I allow myself to just be present and just be in my peace and ease. All right, that's enough for today. I love you guys. How's your expansions going? What are you grateful for? What are you affirming during this expansion for yourself? I am going to call one of my friends. I'm probably even going to get myself a little bit, maybe a chocolate something or other. But I love you. Hope you're doing well. And I will talk to you later.